So Daniel, the question of this day, with vulnerability being a buzzword, my question for you is, why would you actually want to become vulnerable, and what would be a step people can take to beginning to become more vulnerable than they are now?
Great question, mysterious ginger man. Yeah, so let's start with the advantageous opportunities of stepping into new levels of vulnerability. One being that I think it will pull back the layers of who we're not, or shedding the skin of who we're not, to tap into more of who we are, go deeper into the well of inexhaustible wisdom and divine brilliance and unavoidable success that is available to us all in our birthright. I've found that through doing a lot of shadow work, as some would describe at our retreats, that beyond layers and layers and layers of resentment, anger, rage, sadness, maybe emotions that don't carry the vibration of the highest frequency, at the core of that, when you peel back that layer, and life is sometimes a bit like an onion. When you peel back the layers, you cry. But at the core of that onion, at the core of our being, I really do believe with all of my heart that all is there is unconditional love. And to tap into that unconditional love, sometimes it takes some courage, it takes some bravery, it takes letting go of some secrets, it takes letting go of hiding. And I've found when people can release the attachment of what I would call blasphemy, aka worshiping their imagination of what other people think about them and trying to mold their character and their behavior into living up to that expectation, when they can let go of that, then they can, there's a car coming. This is good though, let's see how focused I can be. I've been known to be a little bit ambitious, defiant, and happy animal, so I'll keep my attention dialed into a higher dimension and continue answering this question. That when they can do that, when someone can do that, when they can stop putting so much energy towards hiding and more just being who they are, acting how they feel, saying what they mean, meaning what they say, even if that could trigger someone else's rage, anger, fear, scaredness, that they tap into this divine creativity. The creativity that comes from letting go of living up to other people's expectations, I believe, is profound. And one of the things I've learned about that is, and this is kind of a paradoxical, and I think that's a good place to be. I think it's right below and right intertwined with the consciousness of creativity, which I think is also our birthright, that the less that I seem to care what other people think about me, the more they seem to care what I think. And I would like to encourage everyone to let that settle in and to find, maybe reflect on a time where you really weren't that concerned of how you were being judged or perceived, but you just let this kind of high energy vibration come up and come through you and flow through you, and how much significance, or how significant you seemed in that moment. For me, some of my biggest breakthroughs when I'm tapped into the deepest levels of wisdoms, I believe, is when I'm not trying to mold who I am or what I look like or how I'm perceived, but I rather just go with the flow, even if that's sadness or even if that's madness. As long as I can tell the truth through these more vulnerable emotions, it seems like it draws a lot of God to me. And I believe we all have what a lot of people have described as God in us, that divine spirit. And when you can let go of living up to other people's expectations, I think we can let God come through us that much more easy. So that would be the benefits. How do you do it? And there's plenty more benefits. I just want to scratch the surface to keep this video under 8 minutes probably. But how do you do it? One thing you do is when a car is coming, you just look at that car and you say, I'm standing right here. You can go around if you, if you so desire. And that sometimes takes courage, but it can really pay off. So when the freight train of life is coming at you, or the freight train of the end of your life is coming at you, let's all meet in that field between right and wrong. Let's just be who we are, be who we were created to be, And how we do that, I think a lot of it starts with confession. I think this is a practice that you see across all religions, all philosophies, whether you're going to a psychologist or a preacher. One of the first key steps of personal growth and development and tapping into higher levels of vibrancy and aliveness is being willing to let go of your secrets. So that's the secret of secrets. You gotta find a nice space, a group of people. I trust it can be the people that you want to be more intimate with, because intimacy is a sacred act. Into me you see. So find, whether it's your wife, your kids, your family, your church group, your self-development group, your mastermind, find a space where you can tell all the things that you don't want them to know about you. And that's how the conversation begins. That's how the meeting begins. Share all the things that you don't want people to know about you, and then you'll find out that what was actually most personal could be most universal, and that we all look a little different to tell each other apart, and that the things that we were most scared to share is what actually can connect us the most. And to do this face-to-face, this is not for an email or a text message. At the very least, if you can't get in person, do a video Skype. We live in this awesome world where we can have live video chats. Do it like that if that's your only possible scenario. But regardless of that, if your mom lives across the world, find a friend that you can talk face-to-face, eye to eye. The eyes are the windows to the souls, and share everything you don't want them to know, and take turns until you're fully complete. And I guarantee you will tap into new levels of creativity that you may have never experienced otherwise. So that would be one of the benefits, and that would be one of the ways of doing it. There's different strokes for different folks, and for me though, this is like a great foundation to start that. And then eventually, what I aim to be is to live my life inside out for the whole world to see. I want to be fully known by as many people as I possibly can, so I don't have to put any pressure on myself from creating an act, giving the menu rather than the meal. A lot of people are starving for the actual nutrients of life because they keep eating this menu, eating this portrayal of who they are, consuming that, rather than really demonstrating who they are. And when you really demonstrate who you are, I believe you can change a cultural norm, and you can start breaking normal. So let's do it. Run,